Hello friends, do you love tea and natural wellness products as much as I do? I've partnered with Positively Tea and Positively Botanicals, and I can honestly say I drink their organic loose leaf tea almost every day, and I love it. From organic teas to natural remedies, they offer high quality products that support a healthy, mindful lifestyle. When you shop through my affiliate link, you not only discover amazing products for yourself, but you also help support the podcast. Visit the link in the show notes to explore their selections today. And for you coffee lovers, they have you covered as well. Treat yourself, support the show, and keep connecting with the natural world. Hello friends, and welcome to the Forest Connection. I'm glad you're here with me today. I really appreciate you joining me each week. And today, are you feeling exhausted? Maybe tense? Maybe even distracted? Or maybe you feel just angry sometimes lately? I don't know. I've been going through a lot of different emotions with everything that's going on in the world, and especially in our own country. There's a lot of things going on, and it can be very distracting, very exhausting just listening to what's going on in the news. I find that I sometimes will have to take a break from the news, but we're not here to talk politics. We're not here to talk about what's going on in the world. We're here to figure out how we can get rid of that exhaustion, maybe ease the tension a little bit, maybe get back into focus. This isn't about ignoring the world. It's more about tending to yourself so that you can meet the world more whole. So sit back and relax, and we'll talk a little bit about mindfulness. So when things get me all stressed out from watching the news, watching what's going on in the world, watching all the tension between people, and even when it happens on a smaller scale, maybe there's something going on in my life that's making me a little anxious, a little tense, a little distracted, I pull together with mindfulness. And I'm sure you've heard that term before. Maybe you haven't, and that's okay too. And maybe you've heard it and you didn't really understand what it means. Well, a simple way to describe mindfulness is that mindfulness is basically learning how to be fully present with your life without being pushed around by every thought or headline on the news or anything that passes through your mind. You don't get pushed around by that. Instead, you focus more on yourself. So mindfulness at its core is paying attention to what is happening right now on purpose with curiosity instead of judgment. That's it. No incense required, no personality transplant. No, it's just focusing on yourself. Most of the time we live everywhere except the present moment. Our bodies are here, but our minds are replaying something from yesterday, or maybe we're rehearsing something that hasn't happened yet. Mindfulness is the practice of gently bringing the mind back home to where the body already is. So, not to make the moment perfect, just to actually be in the moment. That's what mindfulness is all about. So really simple. It's bringing your mind back to focus on you, what's happening now. Not thinking about, oh, what am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do today? What's the plan for today? I do that constantly where I'll wake up in the morning and I'm thinking immediately. It's like, oh, what have I got to get done today? What's happening today? What do I really need to do? What can I put off till tomorrow? Oh, I wonder if I have to deal with that again today. I wonder if that has straightened out. What's going on in the news? I wonder if this happened or if that happened. That's what we need to stop. It's okay to do once in a while, but we can't delve on that all the time because it's unhealthy to our mind and eventually to our body if we keep doing that. And that's why I recommend to everyone to practice mindfulness as often as possible. If you're new to this, well, start out slow. Do a mindfulness practice once a day, maybe for like 15 minutes, half an hour. I'm going to talk a little bit about more what you can do later on in the episode. So, what mindfulness feels like in real life? That's probably what question you're asking right now. Well, mindfulness is maybe noticing your shoulders are tight and letting them soften. Maybe it's feeling the warmth of a mug in your hands instead of staring at your computer. Maybe it's realizing that you're anxious without immediately trying to fix the anxiety. It's just noticing that anxiousness. Maybe it's just hearing birdsong and allowing it to exist without naming the species. I'm always talking about that. Enjoy watching, enjoy listening before you name it. It's awareness first and response second. That's mindfulness. That's what it feels like. Now, what mindfulness is not, a lot of people that I've run into when I mention mindfulness, they think, oh, it's that crazy hippie stuff. And no, not really. So it's important to know what mindfulness is not, because a lot of people think mindfulness means clearing your mind of all thoughts. It's not. They think it's being calm all the time. It's not. They think it's ignoring anger, fear, or grief. No, it's not. They think it's becoming detached from the world, being in your own little world all the time. No, it's not. Mindfulness doesn't ask you to stop thinking. What it does do is it asks you to notice that you are thinking. Thoughts aren't the problem. Getting tangled in those thoughts is the problem. And you may wonder, well, I can't help it. Why is this happening? Why do I get tangled into all these thoughts? That's evolution. I mean, the human brain evolved to scan for danger, solve problems, predict what's coming next. That's how we evolved. That works great when you're maybe navigating a forest trail and you want to make sure you're not in danger and you're making sure you don't step on a rock wrong or you watch for bears. Yeah, but it works terribly when you're exposed to constant news, opinions, alerts, imagined futures. Yeah, that doesn't work very well. So without mindfulness, the body basically treats every headline like it's an emergency. Haven't you been listening to the news and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, what's happening? You know, I'm not going to mention any stories. Like I said, this isn't about politics. But maybe there's something going on that you saw in the news and your brain is hardwired to think, oh, it's an emergency. But it's not. Okay? The body stays in low-grade stress response all the time. And we react faster than we reflect on what is going on. And that's just how our brains are wired. Mindfulness creates a pause. It's not stopping all this, it's just pausing it. And in that pause is where, well, basically choice lives. The choices you make are coming out during that pause that you take with mindfulness. Mindfulness is a skill. It's not a mood. A lot of people think that mindfulness is a mood that you get in. No, it's a skill. Mindfulness isn't something that you achieve. It's actually something that you have to practice, kind of like balance. I mean, you don't get better balancing if you never wobble. You get better by noticing the wobble and adjusting for that wobble. So every time you notice your attention has wandered and you gently bring it back, you're practicing mindfulness. That moment of noticing is part of the exercise. So it's something that you have to practice. You learn it. It's a skill. So how does this mindfulness help us during these crazy times, this world that feels so loud and unstable? Well, mindfulness will actually anchor you in what's actually happening right now, not what your mind is playing tricks on you as to what's going to happen. It's an anchor, okay? It reduces that feeling of being constantly under threat, which is hardwired into our brain. So the more we practice it, the more we can find ourselves reducing that feeling of being constantly under threat. So we're relaxing the brain in that aspect. It helps you respond instead of react. And it preserves your emotional energy for what truly matters. Why waste all that emotional energy on something that you can't control anyhow right now? So bring that mindfulness in, start focusing on you and what's happening to you right now. It doesn't make you indifferent, it makes you steadier. And steadiness is what allows compassion, clarity, and wise action so that you can grow more and more. Now, I have found with mindfulness that one of the gifts that you get from mindfulness is actually learning the difference between what you can control, what you can influence, and what you just have to let go. Let it be. Yeah, it actually helps me to learn the difference between these. So instead of getting upset about, something that you probably can't control or you can't influence, maybe that's when you should just let it be. But normally we react. Remember, our brains are hardwired for that. We react instantly to the situation that, well, we don't need to. So if you pull it back in and just practice mindfulness, and don't think you're a failure if you try and you can't do it right away. It's practicing. So you pull yourself back together and you start realizing it's like, okay, I can't control that. I can't influence, so I might as well just forget about it. Might as well just let it be. Or maybe I'll deal with it another day when maybe I do have more control over that situation. And it's not going to erase the frustration. It's not made to do that. It doesn't erase the frustration about things you can't control. Instead, it stops you from living inside that frustration all day. It allows you to say, okay, just let it go and go on with your life. That's what mindfulness is all about. And you've heard me mention this before. You don't have to practice mindfulness sitting on a yoga mat with your fingers touching in the air, your eyes closed, listening to some handpan music. No, you can practice mindfulness anywhere. My favorite places, of course, nature. Yeah, in the forest, near a stream, a waterfall, maybe just sitting out on my back porch and feeling the wind on my face and listening to the birds. All of these things naturally pull us into that present moment. You're noticing what's around you. These things don't demand commentary. They don't demand you to rush. They just happen. When you're in nature, mindfulness, it often happens without any effort. It just happens. I know it does with me, but I've been practicing a long while, so it may take you a little bit more practice before you get to that point where you step out of nature and it's gone. I know usually when I go on a walk, especially through the woods, when I go on a walk through the woods, it's like everything disappears. All my problems, or what I thought were problems, but really weren't. What's going on in the world that I can't control, that I have no real saying over, those things just disappear because I'm listening to the wind in the leaves. I'm listening to the birds up in the trees. I'm listening to the stream trickle past. All these things draw me back to the present, to what's happening now. You're listening instead of thinking, sensing instead of analyzing. That's why the forest feels like relief to me, and I'm sure it would for you too. And you may be thinking, well, stepping into the woods, everything that's going on right now in the world, all this chaos and craziness in the US, and how on earth is mindfulness going to stop my mind from reacting? It's not easy. I mean, humans are not wired for constant alerts, outrage cycles, or infinite commentary. We are not wired for that. The nervous system actually treats political stress, or news stress, if you want to call it that, like physical danger. Doom scrolling as a survival instinct that basically backfires. Stress hormones don't care if the threat is a saber-toothed cat or a headline. They react the same to either one. Constant vigilance basically keeps the body stuck in that on mode for our stress. And it's not good for us. It's not good for our health. So like I said in the beginning, to get rid of all this, to rewire our brains to react differently, practice mindfulness. And if you're new to it, well, make it a daily practice, but start out small and repeat it. This is not another self-improvement chore. I mean, I do yoga every morning. I do about 15 minutes to maybe a half an hour. It depends on my day and what's going on, but I will do yoga every single morning. That's more of a self-improvement chore. And I've gotten to the point where I've been doing this so long, it's not so much a chore, it's something I enjoy doing. And mindfulness can be the same way, not a chore. And some things you can do to start this mindfulness journey, some simple things just to get yourself ready, practicing. So these are some things that you can do. First of all, when you pick up your phone, what do you usually do? You go right to the news, you go right to Facebook, you go right to Instagram, you go to the stories, trying to find out, okay, what happened overnight? What's going on? Well, before you do that, one conscious breath. Bring it in. Bring it into yourself. How do you feel? Have that breath relax you. And then, once you're calm and you're collected, then grab your phone. Maybe you're out somewhere and you're standing on a line. I know we all hate waiting on lines, especially slow ones, when the person in front has more stuff than they should have. And so, well, anyhow, how do you stop yourself from getting upset about it? How do you stop yourself from that hardwire of, oh, I need to do something? Well, think about your feet. Think about how you're grounded through your feet. Feel your feet. Think about how your body feels. Take that deep breath again. Think about something else. Think about how this is nice. I have a chance to just be here, to be in this moment. No rush, no hurry. And think about yourself. Think about how your feet feel against the ground. Maybe you're out on a walk and you start thinking about what's going on, the daily things that you read in the news today. Unfortunately, my wife and I do that sometimes, where the two of us will go for a walk after work and we start introducing, unless we were together all day, but we start introducing each other to what happened in our day. The problems I had with a student at school. Maybe it was some customer that came into my wife's shop that was bothering her. And we start noticing that we're supposed to be enjoying this walk together. But instead, we're bringing all these external things in. So what we do at that point is we start noticing the sounds around us instead. So we kind of block those thoughts out. We push them aside temporarily, and we notice the sounds around us, the birds singing, maybe the way the wind is blowing through the trees. And we'll notice maybe the patterns that the sunlight is creating as it comes through the leaves of the trees. So we start bringing ourselves back into the moment and forgetting about what happened. And we forget about discussing what's for dinner tonight. What are we going to do this evening? We forget about those plans and we just bring it to the moment. So we actually practice mindfulness together at that moment. So these are really simple practices to start mindfulness. That deep breath before you check the phone, before you watch the news. Maybe you find yourself just getting home from work and you just take a moment to sit down. Maybe your most comfortable favorite chair. And don't turn the TV on. Don't listen to the radio. Just sit there in silence and think about you. Not everything that happened during the day. Not your plans for the rest of the day, but just think about how you feel. Think about how relaxed you are. Almost like a meditative state. But instead, what you're doing is you're noticing you. Start picking up the little sounds around you. Maybe you hear the kids outside your window playing in the street. Maybe you hear the dog wagging his tail and hitting the wall with its tail. Maybe you hear some music from a car that passed by your house. Just notice these things that are happening now. That's simple. Notice the now. But try practicing that every single day. It doesn't take long. And the better you get at it, the longer you can put into it. Now I'm going to backtrack a little to walking in the forest and how I always feel this is one of the best ways to learn mindfulness. Basically, the forest is a natural mindfulness teacher, in my opinion. You see, the trees, they don't rush. Streams don't argue with the rocks, they just flow over them. Forests operate in the present time, not predicting ideas. They don't predict the future. So what I have found in the forest, some great mindfulness activities when you're out in the forest, maybe sit with one tree for 5 minutes. Notice how that tree feels. Put your hands on the roots of the tree as you're sitting next to it. And listen to the tree. Listen to everything around you. Listen to the wind. Listen to the birds, the animals. Listen to everything. But while you're doing that, don't label them. Don't think in your mind, oh, I hear a cardinal. Don't think that, oh, it's getting windier than it was earlier today. No, just notice these things without labeling. Maybe you want to watch the way the light patterns are, the way the sun comes through the leaves of the tree and creates different patterns on the tree or on the ground. Notice these things, but don't narrate in your mind what's happening. Just notice them, watch them. Let nature model mindfulness for you instead of trying to explain it. Now, at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, I can do this mindfulness thing, but it's still going to be hard. It's going to be hard to start doing this with everything that's going on. Things are changing so rapidly all the time in the news. I need to know what's going on. Well, here's a really good practice. Before you even start trying to do mindfulness, take a break from the news. That's simple. I'm not telling you to give up watching the news totally. I'm a strong believer in knowing what's going on in your community, knowing what's going on in your country, in your state, in the world. I love knowledge. But being informed is not the same as being immersed. That's where we get into trouble. You can still care deeply about these things without constant exposure to them. Stepping back a little bit is an act of stewardship of your nervous system. Think of it that way. You're helping your nervous system. You're helping yourself by stepping back for a little while. Don't be immersed in the news. Maybe you want to just set a designated news window. So maybe don't do it first thing in the morning. Okay, then you're going to harp on it all day long. Maybe do your mindfulness first thing in the morning instead. And set maybe 6 o'clock at night when the news is on. 6 to 7. That's what my wife and I do now. We watch the news, the local news at 6 o'clock. We watch the national news at 6:30. So for that 1 hour, we immerse ourselves in what's going on. And then we ignore it. Well, actually, my wife does check her phone news every once in a while, too. I've been trying to avoid it because I've needed a break from it all. So maybe you want to do news-free mornings or maybe news-free evenings. Designate a news window and make it news-free the rest of the day. Now, instead of scrolling on your phone to see what's going on, try replace the scrolling with something more sensory, maybe walking, go for a hike in the woods, maybe cook, listen to the birds, learn a new language. I don't know, whatever hobby you have. Maybe you want to take up painting. So instead of scrolling, go over and do one of these things instead. Remember, you can't control everything, but you can control what you let live rent-free in your body. Think of it that way. Now, a gentle framework to work on with mindfulness is think about what you can control. For instance, your breath, your attention, and you can control your actions. Then think about what you can influence, such as conversations, maybe choices, and your community. And what you must accept, that's the rest. Mindfulness helps us stop wrestling with that third category, the things we must accept. So remember, things you can control, your breath, your attention, and your actions. Things you can influence, conversations, choices, community. And everything else you just have to accept. And mindfulness, once again, it helps us to stop wrestling with that accept thing. So I hope this helps you getting through all these troubling times that we keep seeing on the news. Take that news break. Do it without guilt. Don't feel guilty that, I'm not keeping up on what's going on. It's okay. You get that one time during the day that you get to absorb what's going on. And then just let it go. Once again, that is something that you have to accept that's going on. Maybe you can influence it. I do call my congressmen. I email them, my senators too, and I let them know my feelings. And then I just let it go. It's like, well, I did my job. Nothing more I can do. So remember, let things go. Mindfulness. It isn't about checking out. It's about checking back in. When you care for yourself, you widen your capacity to care for others. So pause after this episode. Step outside if you can. I know it's really cold here right now, but if you can step outside and carry one small practice of mindfulness into your day and let it grow every single day. So I'd like to thank you for spending this time with me today. If this moment brought you a little calm or clarity, feel free to carry it with you as you move back into your day. And share it with your friends as well, so that they can get a little more calm and clarity too. So until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and I'll meet you again in the forest. Hello, friends. I hope you're out wandering through nature, exploring the natural world around you. Do you enjoy writing about your wanderings? Nature journaling is an awesome, fun way to remember all the adventures you have taken and how you felt during those journeys. If you're looking for some beautiful journals to keep track of all your wanderings, I have several available on Amazon, including some guided journals for children. Start your journey in journaling by clicking on the link in the show notes. keep exploring the nature around you, and keep journaling all your wanderings. Hey there, fellow nature wanderers. If you're like me, you love spending time outdoors, breathing in that fresh air and connecting with the natural world. But at home, have you ever thought about what's in the products you use every single day? That's why I'm excited to share Apple Valley Natural Soap with you. Their handcrafted all-natural soaps are made with organic ingredients, essential oils, and no harsh chemicals. Awesome! So they're not only great for your skin, but they're safe for the planet. And they don't just stop at soap. Apple Valley Natural Soap also carries a full line of natural skincare products, including shampoos, body butters, facial bars, and more. All designed to nourish your skin without synthetic ingredients. You can't beat that. That's just awesome. Whether you're hiking in the woods or just winding down after a long day, their products bring a little bit of nature right into your home. And the best part? By supporting Apple Valley Natural Soap through The Nature Wanderer, you're also supporting this podcast. Just head to the show notes and click on the link for Apple Valley Natural Soap. So go ahead, treat yourself and the environment to something better. Your skin and Mother Nature will thank you. Now let's get on with our adventure.